Driving this car has really changed my perception on city driving. It's always kind of stressful to me, stopping and going and hitting the brakes and all that kind of stuff that you normally do driving a car. And I know that sounds silly, but it always bothered me. But driving this car, knowing that you get some energy back at least if you're slowing down, and you can just use the engine to slow you down instead of using the brakes, having a lot less wear and tear on all the car components while you're driving. It's pretty comforting, actually. Kind of like really relaxing. So I'm enjoying it quite a lot. And heated steering wheel is pretty nice too. After all the highway driving in my previous video, I was down to about 40% charge. It could have gone another 60 miles or so, but since I'll be short on time for the rest of the week, I figured I'd test out one of these fast chargers on the way home from work. It started out around 85 to 89 amps, and it seemed to be adding about 1% charge per minute. I'm not really sure why, but the charger decided to stop once the battery hit 75% capacity. It looks like it put just over 14 kilowatt into the battery in 30 minutes. Since I have the Nissan No Charge to Charge card, it didn't cost me anything. And I picked up a couple of things while I was waiting at the store. There's the drive computer. Finally figured out where that was in all these menus. But here's your average miles per kilowatt hour, your average economy on your trip. Getting about 4 miles per kilowatt hour right now. Your direction, your audio, your power gauge. It shows you your power to the motor, your regenerative braking, the battery status, battery temperature, battery capacity. So far I've been using the E-pedal almost exclusively. So you push it down, you go, you take your foot off, you slow down, you take it off all the way, the brake is on. It's really easy to get used to, and frankly, I recommend using it. It's a much smoother braking experience than using the actual brake pedal. With that being said though, this week I'm going to try not using the E-pedal, using the regular B mode and the regular brake pedal. There seems to be a lot of variation in if I hit a certain stoplight or if I get to go through all green lights. So being able to average out for the entire week seems to be a much more scientifically accurate method of measuring the efficiency overall, as opposed to individual trips back and forth from work. So second day driving without the E-pedal. One thing that I've heard other people don't particularly like is the automatic transmission creeping simulation. So you take your foot off the brake and the car moves forward by itself. It seems to be pretty inconsistent on the amount of drive that it gives it when you take your foot off the brake. If you just take your foot right off the brake, it it just creeps a little bit. But if you're doing it very gently, it seems like it lurches forward, almost like not really, like maybe say you're getting rear-ended at a really slow speed, sort of moving forward. So the only thing consistent about it so far is that it's been consistently inconsistent. A couple other things I noticed. I got the sun coming right at me. It seems like that has freaked out some kind of sensor for the lanes, which is right right up behind the rear view mirror. When the sun comes right on, I've seen, hang on, I've seen the lights light up on the dashboard for the lanes. Even though I'm between the lanes just fine, I think it freaks out when the sun is pointed directly at it, which I could understand. I mean, I can barely see as it is, so I'm wearing sunglasses and I have the visor down. But the other thing that's kind of nice too that I'd noticed in on the map navigation screen, it indicates your local street speed limit in the upper right hand corner. It's very small, so I never really noticed it before, but it's there, and you know, it's helpful. Some of the videos I've seen from you guys and across the pond, it seems like you have a speed limit display right on your dashboard. I haven't figured out how to get that done. I don't know if that's even something that I can do on the US model, but that would be nice because it is very small on the navigation screen, and you have to glance over all the way instead of just glancing down. So yeah, that's about the only updates I have right now. So I'll continue testing without using the e-pedal, seeing if I can figure out the creep simulation behavior. If it depends on how you're releasing the brake, but so far it does seem to be pretty aggressive at points, and if you're going uphill or downhill slightly, it doesn't seem that much. So I'm right. Yeah. So this time I released off the brake very slowly, and it didn't lurch forward. So it's definitely inconsistent in how it's doing the creeping simulation. Be interested to see if I could turn that off, so that it, you know, with the e-pedal, it is when you're stopped, you don't go until you press the pedal down. I'll continue testing and see how things go. Thanks. Just a reminder, you really got to keep an eye out for things like this person opening their door when you drive by, or this other person that just decided to stop in front of you in the middle of the road. Keep your eyes open and drive safe. See you next time.